everybody, I'm Marcus Avery, and I'm the founder of Chow and Company. I want to welcome you to Food for Thought. And so now this is basically a series that connects you to entrepreneurs who are revolutionizing the food and beverage industry. So I think whether you're a food enthusiast or looking to start your own business, you'll definitely be able to take something from the conversations that we have here today. And now today's episode is entitled When Life Gives You Lemons. And joining me in this discussion today is a very special lady. So I want everybody to give it up for, drumroll, Carleen Goodridge.
Hey y'all! How y'all doing?
Yes. Welcome to the show, Carleen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And so I want to start off by, of course, just giving a little bit of like a background for us, like, and how we first interacted with each other. I'm going to post. I don't even remember the post. It could have been like back in January or something like that.
You're right.
Like, yeah. And then you commented, and we were just chatting it up in the comments.
Yes, we were. It was like, okay, we cool, let's talk.
Yes. And then we took that conversation to the DMs, and then we were chatting it up in the DMs.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I really like this woman. And then, coincidentally, you said the magic words. You were like, oh, and I love to talk. And
yes,
like,
okay. I do.
Yeah. So I was like, we definitely have to have her on the show. And here we are.
I'm the person who's like, okay, I'm leaving, and an hour later.
Right. And so look, this is perfect format for that. We can have that conversation. So
yes.
Again, welcome. So I like to kick things off by, of course, asking just a bit of like background information for those who might not be familiar with you. And I know just from doing my own research with you, you have like a very inspiring story. You know, I know you battled, some of the things like homelessness, abuse, and abandonment. So can you tell us about what that was like growing up for you in New York, and how those things have really shaped who you are today?
Ooh, so those things I don't regret them. I can't help them, so there's no regret on something I couldn't help. But I'll start with my first major experience for me would be the abuse. I grew up as a child who was unfortunately abused by her daddy. It was something that my sister and I both went through. It was something I didn't talk about, and my sister was the exact opposite, where she always wanted to talk about it. And I was the older sister. I was 3 years difference. I figured we ain't gonna get no help. Ain't nobody helping us. You know how a lot, and sometimes I used to say how Black folks are, but I realized that's how people are.
Yes.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with it because more of us than we realize have experienced it or know someone that went through it. So for years, I was a mother of 3 before I spoke about it freely. And the first time I spoke about it was very publicly. It was on the news because of something that my sister did. Let's just say my sister ended up in jail. Our father ended up dead. And it was all because of the trauma that we experienced in our childhood. And when I say childhood, I'm talking about, for me personally, 3 years old to about 13 years old. And for my sister, about 3 or 4 years old till she was almost 18 years old.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that controlled our lives more than we realized, even to this day.
Yeah.
The homelessness that I've shared came from that same trauma. I didn't trust people. Because that trust was broken in my childhood. So I tried to do everything on my own. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do it all. I got this. Well, we don't have it. Well, we try to do it on our own. So I remember being homeless pre-mama, before I had kids, as a mother with my children, pregnant with my 3rd child, and even sometimes after that. What I learned later on was how to make it look good. Like, you didn't know I was homeless. I had a gym membership. I rocked a hot wig or good makeup. I took the showers at the gym. Made sure I looked good to go on a date just to have food to take home. Like, yes. That's a whole nother conversation we definitely have. But homelessness looked good on me. It made me stronger.
Well, first of all, not many people say that. So, I like the fact that you were able to finesse it, in whatever way that you could.
Because I didn't want nobody to know.
Yeah.
I remember, one of my best experiences, I say best, meaning it was a transitional point in my life. Mm-hmm. When I ended up in the shelter, and back in the shelter system back in New York, we've got 5 boroughs. I was in Staten Island. That's where I lived. So that means they weren't going to place me in a shelter system in Staten Island. I got placed in Manhattan. It was not comfortable. It was not cool. I could not find comfort in that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So somehow, talk the talk, and I convinced them to allow me to be placed in a shelter on Staten Island. When I arrived in the shelter on Staten Island, friends, other people that I knew that happened to be there, thought I was a new staff member. Didn't realize I was there because I now needed those services. Yeah. I was a former city employee, but here I am now needing those services. But that was a turning point in my life because I got to understand how we were being treated in that system. We were just another number coming through. Yeah. We were just another bed being filled. Things like our bathroom conditions were horrific. And when I asked to fix those bathroom conditions, they said, oh, we'll throw you guys a pizza party and y'all clean it up.
Oh, God.
Excuse me? A pizza party? No, you have funds dedicated to that purpose. We need clean living environments. Or things like, I'll never forget, I was in room 111. Mm-hmm. And, shelters, especially family-based shelters, you can't shout out everybody's name. So they would say, room 111, come to the first floor. Room 111, come to the first floor. I wouldn't respond. I'm not 111. I'm the resident of 111.
Right.
So that was a huge turning. That's why I say I don't regret it. Because in my lowest, there was a huge lesson to learn. There was a huge see beyond self that was learned in that moment. I returned to school. At the time, no one knew a huge secret. I was a high school dropout. I dropped out my senior year of high school 2 months before graduation. I joined the military. I had my 3rd child. But that was a huge see beyond yourself, Carleen, because I ended up in that position out of depression. I ended up in that depressive state out of self-loathing, out of being upset and hurt by myself. And that transition allowed me to see so much more and so much bigger than that. No regrets. Tragic in its own sense, if I allow it to be, but transitional at its best.
Yeah. And see, that's what I mean. Inspirational at its finest. Definitely. So, what even gave you the motivation to keep going after experiencing all of that?
Allowing myself to see the love. There is a lot of, I was about to say crap, but there's a lot of shit that happens in this world. Let's just call it what it is. There's a lot of horrible things that happen. But in those moments, there's beauty. There's someone who walks your path that sparks you. There is the tree blossoming. There is that rose smelling good. There is that food that comforts you.
Yes.
That's what kept me going. Those happy moments. Happy moments kept me going.
Okay, and then I know you said you went into the military. So tell me about your experience with that.
So because I was in the shelter system, when I entered the shelter system, I was a former employee for the city and realized I wasn't moving forward without a high school diploma. I was 20-something years old. I think I was 27 at the time. And like I said, that was a secret. Nobody knew I was a high school dropout. So I was like, okay, let me go and get my GED. While I was in school for my GED, I was also taking paralegal courses and really got a hunger in understanding legislation and decided, I can use legislation and understanding and this position to start making a change for things that I saw that needed a change for. But I was like, I got to go to college. How am I going to get money? At my GED school, there was literally a sign, probably the day before I said, how am I going to get money for school, that said, need money for college.
Talk about a sign.
So I applied to the Army National Guard. I served an amazing 12-year contract. My first 6 years were phenomenal. I loved the team that I served with. I loved my battalion that I served with. A great experience, challenging in my first year, of course. I spent almost 9 months away from my children, one of which I had just given birth to and was still nursing when I left for boot camp. Thought I was going to be able to pump my milk and send it back home, and I got laughed out the room. My next 6 years were very challenging. It came right around the time I got married, had another child, was finishing up a semester of school that I failed out of because I was just doing too much of. It was, and learning about a lot of health issues that I actually had over the years and was really coming full circle. So the last 6 years were challenging, but overall, the things that I learned and being a part of that organization, there are a lot of good things and a lot of negative things just because of, but that was an experience.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of time. And just based on where you are today, with your food and beverage business, what was like your first introduction to the food and beverage industry?
Ooh, on the professional side, I needed to make money. That's
always a thing.
I needed to make money, honey. So like I said, when I started my second contract with the military, I was in school, got married, had another child. My ex-husband at the time lost his job. I thought I was entering the banking industry. I had applied to work for a large banking organization, was waiting to get placed, but things weren't going good at home. We were about to lose a house we were supposed to be buying. Money was running low. My daughter had a friend who needed a cake for her sweet 16. And I used to do this cool, like, cheetah print cake thing. I loved cooking. Food has always been in my heart, always been passionate for me. So I made a cake for her friend's sweet 16. The mother insisted on paying me, and I was like, no, that's not what this was. This was my daughter's gift to her. Well, she referred me, and then that person referred me, and in the midst of trying to make money at home, we were having yard sales, so I would make cupcakes and muffins, and people thought they were for sale. I was just trying to get y'all in the house and see what else we had for sale.
Right.
It turned out, oh, I'm good at this. Okay, I can make money for this, and we need money. So my first introduction was baked goods and unintentionally selling at a yard sale I was hosting at home to make money and try and save my house that we ended up losing anyway.
No. Oh, but look at God.
Yes.
He still brought you a mighty long way.
Yes. Oh, and I lost the husband too. He gone.
Okay. Well, we could have got rid of him anyway. So.
Yeah,
Well, okay. So then, what was the first actual business that you opened?
So we did that. We started doing that unofficially, and I love that my previous experiences and my previous connections really helped out. So before transitioning to going to school, I was working for the Department of Commerce. So I had a lot of contacts there. I was a part of a church plan. I had a lot of contacts there. I'm always a big believer in community work. Remember, I thought I was going to be entering the legislative state, so I had a lot of contacts. So I started catering church functions and other friends' nonprofits events. And October, November of 2012, like basically this year, I celebrate 10 years as an entrepreneur in the food business.
Congratulations.
Yes. So we started, my ex-husband and I started Nosredna Boutique Catering Company in 2012. And we started just catering to the military, my military unit, and other companies in my battalion, to my church, other local nonprofits. It was a huge blessing because of the other network and people that I knew They were like, oh, we love your food. Yes, yes. So that was an easy go. Like, it was a great start. But this is business. And this is catering. And we didn't plan ahead. We started around the holiday season, so we were booked. But here comes the first summer, and we didn't have nothing on the calendar. We didn't think about weddings and what we're going to book for the summer. That first year of my catering business, that summer, we were cleaning toilets at the college dorms. Because I had to find something. It was like, we need money and we don't have any gigs on, like nothing booked.
Yeah.
And that's where the lemonade came in.
Okay.
So we were cleaning toilets on one side, but the other side was, well, people love the lemonade that we've been giving away for free if they book a catering gig with us. Why don't we sell the lemonade?
Right. Well,
So we started
this because I know you also opened Cōl Bōl too. So was lemonade also prior to Cōl Bōl?
Yes, lemonade was part. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the current name of the company was a transition. So once my ex-husband and I separated, I wasn't keeping Nos Regna. Nos Regna was my married last name backwards. My last name was Anderson.
Okay. Oh, okay. There we go.
So you say Anderson backwards, it's Nos Regna. A reflection of good business is what we used to say. So we left that. I left that. And Lemonade was initially supposed to be Monade because my now 10-year-old at the time was about 3 years old. And whenever he asked Mama for lemonade, he would say, Mama, can I have some Monade? Can I have some Monade? So we actually were just going to call it Monade when we transitioned. But it was like, oh, how do we explain that? So I ended up naming it Le Monade, and my daughter came up with the term Le Monade because she was like, Ma, you know you bougie. It ain't lemonade, it's lemonade.
Let's see, that's just like how we say Target and Target.
It's Target, right?
Yes.
So I tell anyone, they can say lemonade, but it's also lemonade if you bougie.
Moving forward, we don't call it lemonade.
Lemonade.
Because we bougie over here. We do the pinkies up and everything.
Pinky up.
And so, okay, so you're, a Black woman business owner in the making at that time. So how did you go about securing funding for your business?
By selling my stuff.
Another yard sale?
Yeah, yes. Yep. There was, so that's a part of how I've been doing it for the past 10 years. I've never received a loan. I have won a grant, and that was a few years back. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, we basically took from our food budget at home to make some stuff and turn that into a profit. As a matter of fact, during that time, I believe I was receiving food stamps. So we were like, okay, baked goods, cupcakes, we're going to turn that around. And that's how we started off. That's why it was so easy to start off with cupcakes and baked goods. Even learning how to price, we were underbidding ourselves because I was like, oh, I'm paying this. But all these years, the business has been funded by the business. Like, it's like, okay, we go ahead and reinvest back in. I've been pop-up based since inception, meaning, okay, what's the next gig that's going to come? And we're about to pop up at that gig and make it happen.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the point after officially becoming an LLC last year where I'm looking for funding. Okay, let's see what grants are out there. Let's see if we qualify for any loans. Are we ready for that? But prior to that, all these years, it's been, okay, if the business make money, we're going to put it back in and go from there.
Yeah. Well, I guess, of course, there are pros and cons to everything. And so when you look at it from your perspective, with not having an investor, I know that typically presents like a certain type of freedom, that you can have because you don't have the investor saying, okay, this is what I want you to do with my money. So how was that experience for you? If you consider that to be like one of the good things about not having that
it has been a good thing because it's allowed me time to figure out what I want my brand to be. and who I am and as I grow as an individual. So I never started my business because I wanted this big major brand. I was trying to make sure the bills were paid. I was trying to make
Right.
sure my kids had a house over there, you know, over there, a roof over their head. Like, that's why I even got into it. Now I stay in it because it serves so many personal desires. I get to cook. I get to share community with people. I get to meet other people and share my experience. I get to share my culture. I get to share my understanding of now what culture means to me, being a Liberian American, and what all the things that come with that. Yes, I want to make money. Like, I stopped saying, oh, I used to say, I just need my bills to be paid. I just need to feel my bills to be paid. But my bills simply being paid does not allow me to set a legacy for my children, to set them up for success as well. So in the past 2-3 years, my mind has changed from I do this because it pays my bills to I do this because I'm building legacy.
I like that.
But doing that in the sense of on my own, and I say on my own, but my community has supported me. My children have supported me. They've been right there with me. My partner has supported me. So it's not on my own, but it's allowed my mind to process what I truly want it to be. I really do work from my heart. And I know a lot of investors, they're like, okay, and you want to make money or not? Yeah, I want to make money, but I don't want to sell my soul.
Yeah.
And I won't.
Yeah, because it's not worth it at the end of the day.
Absolutely not.
Having that,
Never was, never will be, for me at least.
Yeah. And so I guess, maybe outside of like finances, can you talk about some of the roadblocks that you encountered, when in your business?
I don't know, maybe this tone. Maybe this tone, maybe this.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I say that because I think I was blinded to it in my first few years in business. And I say that because I've been blinded to it most of my life. While I am a Liberian American, while I am a chocolate covered woman, I used to not want to be called, and sometimes it's hard to say this out loud. I think I can write it better than I say it, but I used to be bothered by people saying, oh, you're such a strong Black woman. And I would be like, why am I a Black woman? Like, I'm Carleen. Why am I this? Without really understanding the importance of why we need to take pride in our Blackness. Because I was stuck on, I was stuck on protecting my humanity because of what I was experiencing at home, that I didn't think to protect my Blackness because of what was happening out in the world. Like, I didn't see that difference. I didn't see that comparison until I realized my daughter was confused by her biraciality, and my son as well, one of my oldest sons, and that my boys were at risk.
Yeah.
And then I really started understanding it when my friends, my non-Black friends, didn't understand my fears. And that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute, Carleen, you're missing something here. Pride is important. This is why pride is important. And then I missed it when it came to business. I had other friends that started their businesses around the same time as me, and they would get into certain rooms. While we were all in this room together, why can't I be in that room together? Or that I was the only one in certain rooms. Okay. And it was okay because we spoke the same language. Yeah. I was raised around y'all. So I'm safe. I say the word I use today is I'm safe. But the word we all understand is token. And not that it was ever intentional, but I even realized that when I first moved to Baltimore, where I would get invited to certain spaces, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm in Baltimore. Why am I the only one in this room? Oh, you understand me. Wait,
yeah. Okay, yeah, because I was about to say in Baltimore, definitely, you're like, yeah.
So my setbacks have definitely been my own for not understanding why the importance of pride. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think the biggest setback is that. Like that for me, my biggest setback was that. Not understanding, okay, you're a Black woman and it's okay to be proud to be a Black woman. That's my biggest setback.
Yeah, and realizing that, or embracing that rather. How would you say your Liberian heritage has shaped your whole career and outlook on life?
Ooh, that has been the word that is like running in my head right now is exhilarating. Exhilarating, because being Liberian was always a safe place for me growing up. I was the kid in the suburbs of Long Island who would go to school excited that her mom was going to make fufu for the night. And I would tell my friends I was going to have fufu and palm butter. And they'd be like, huh? What? And I'd go home to my mom and be like, they don't know what it is. And she'd be like, they're American.
No, you know what? Interesting thing. I had fufu for the first time like a month ago. And it was so good. Like with the little bread and stuff. Now I know, like, had you seen me eat it, you might be like, what are you doing? Because it's my first time.
I don't judge. I don't judge. Eat however, just enjoy it as you do it. I don't care what it look like. Enjoy it as you do it.
And it was really, really good. I was just like, okay, I've been missing out on this.
Yes. Yeah, but that for me, so for years, I've wanted to serve Liberian food publicly. But that was always something I just did at home. I did it in special. Even my kids had to point out, Mom, you only do it on special occasions. Like, why isn't it something we eat all the time? Like, they love it. Like, if you ask my kids what their favorite foods are, they'll list different Liberian foods, different Liberian meals. So when I came to Baltimore, an opportunity arose for me to be able to host a takeover, a restaurant takeover. And I knew right there, it had to be Liberian food. It just had to be my take, which most Liberians would call kui, meaning westernized. Like, okay, it's all pretty and bougie and small plates, but you know, that's the pinky up. But you're gonna get the flavor. I would usually say, oh my, don't worry now. The flavor there is sweet. It's sweet. So like, it's like our food and the flavors are magical to me. Like they are, that's nostalgia for me. Like when I think of the good parts of my childhood, it was our meals, it was our food, it was the smell in the house when that food was getting cooked, it was the music that was being played. So that's my happy place when I'm cooking. Like I love cooking in general to begin with, but then when I'm using our ingredients, oh my gosh, you like, don't play with me. Like it's time to eat for real. So the other part of doing that is accountability and connectivity. Accountability to remember you are a Liberian American woman. You are first generation born in this country since your ancestors were taken back to Africa. Like there's an accountability there with preparing that food and remembering and recalling that. And then there's connectivity to the fact that our freed Black men and women from this country were sent back to West Africa for many different reasons. For, oh, we don't want y'all around here, or we just want to get out this country, for whatever reason. So here is a West African country that was colonized by freed Black American men and women and formerly enslaved, and all the things in the history that came with that. So to stay connected with that. So Liberian food shapes me in staying accountable and staying connected.
Okay, I like that. So are there any Liberian influence in lemonade, excuse me?
Yes and no. Family would be the influence, or one of the flavors that we have, one of our current flavors, which comes out to be like our top seller now, our hibiscus guava.
Okay.
So hibiscus guava was not originally a lemonade flavor. It was something that we served when we did Cōl Bōl dinners, just from the hibiscus, the roselle that we used to serve. So that was influenced there. Moving forward, there will be a lot more flavors on the lemonade side that are connected. Looking at doing some more ginger beer, doing root beers, doing lemongrass drinks, like flavors that we've used in culinary cuisine in Liberia. Lemonade and the flavors of the beverages that come from there are just my love of food and being a culinary creative and just mixing up flavors and having a ball together.
Oh yeah, okay. Because we got the food advocate here. She says very Caribbean flavor combination.
Yes, exactly.
And just because, of course, we do want to highlight your product. So, what are all the flavors that you currently have available right now?
So currently available, because there's a whole lot, but currently available is, I'm gonna show the bottles because we gotta do the bottles.
Of course, do some products.
Ginger rose. So ginger rose is a balance of fresh ginger and rose water. And this, I always say, this was made because I didn't like gin back in the day. Now I love gin. This was something I made that was supposed to be personal to me, to pair with like a gin drink. And it became one of our top sellers. But then the ingredients I'm using, my mother who raised me, my stepmother, I don't like using the term stepmother, but she was my stepmother who raised me. She's Liberian and Lebanese. And rosewater, Middle Eastern, that was just something that was just a part of that culture. That was just good. I love this stuff. Citrus thyme is one of our current flavors. Ooh, this is lemons, oranges, grapefruits. In late winter, we include blood orange in there. It's kissed with thyme. It's the most refreshing standard flavor we have. I love it in like a whiskey cocktail. I love it with sparkling water. It's good. It's real good.
If you already, I placed my order, so I can't wait.
Let me tell you something. I know which ones you ordered, but you got all of them coming, just so you know.
Thank you.
And then our hibiscus guava, like this. Woo! What I love about how we do this one, like I grew up when I made hibiscus tea or roselle tea, we would do it with hot water. I cold brew the hibiscus leaves with this one. And I swear the flavor is just so much potent and so much more out there with that particular one. It's becoming a favorite of mine. I was like, oh, they just like it because it's red and they don't know the flavors. But it's good.
We love some red.
Okay, we love some red, right?
Wait, and we have a question. The food advocate says, are they concentrates?
They absolutely are. They absolutely are. So this particular bottle, it's an 8.5 ounce bottle. I always tell people you're going to get at least 8 to 12 servings out of it, and probably more. So on average, I recommend 3 tablespoons, which is just under an ounce, per 8 ounces of water. The other day, I was making a drink in a 16-ounce glass, and that was too much. So I literally used 1/2 ounce mixed with some sparkling water, and that was more than enough to flavor the water. So that's the other beauty of the product, is it doesn't take much for you to enjoy an amazing drink. And it doesn't have to be a cocktail. It can be just add water, throw in some ice, enjoy it like that. It could be first thing in the morning, you boil your water, throw in some ginger rose, and you got a hot tea in the morning.
So that's versatile.
Yes, it could be, oh, I'm about to have a salad, but I don't have any salad dressing in the fridge. Oh, but I got olive oil in the cabinet. So let me mix a little of the hibiscus guava, a little olive oil, a little black pepper, fresh garlic, dried onion, and I got a dope salad dressing. Like,
hold up. Let me find out you got a whole one-stop shop in a bottle.
Yes, come on. It's the foodie homie in a bottle, yo.
Yes. See, my head just went to like, okay, cocktails. And again, I know you said you can do mocktails too, but I'm a drinker. So it's just like, that's what my head went to.
Beyond the drink. Go beyond the drink.
So I can make my own little vinaigrette.
Yeah, exactly. My son just came through with some crushed ice. He was like, Ma, can I get the ginger rose? Over here, so we got a little snow cone happening.
Yes.
Which will be at the stand this summer.
And so look, and there goes the comment. Yes, said I'm thinking pancakes. So they want to put.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So during this, so we try to be as seasonal as possible. So the berries are coming out, the strawberries, the blackberries, the raspberries. All those berries are coming out soon. So we got our berry rose coming out, which is one of my favorites over pancakes. Blueberries, blackberries, Thai basil, cardamom, lemon juice. Yo, it hits. It hits. I also love that one on a sangria. Like I make a sangria with the berry rose.
Oh,
and then we do a strawberry balsamic. Don't let it fool you. It's an amazing, refreshing drink. We do a white balsamic, little orange zest, fresh puree, strawberries. And that hits over some waffles and pancakes too.
Okay. So I know I need to definitely put on the notifications when you post because I got to get that drops when it's in. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Every flavor again. If they can be that versatile, yeah.
Yes, they can. So I remember the first time we used them on meats, my daughter made some ribs. She did some pork ribs and she marinated the ribs with the ginger rose. She baked them in the oven and then finished them off in the grill. So we had all that delicious flavor happening from roasting them in the oven, and then they caramelized because of the sugar in it on the grill. Like even if you don't do it with mushrooms, throw it over your roasted veggies. You don't eat meat, that's cool. I don't hate. Like I like to be plant forward too. But if you do meats, don't be scared.
Oh no. Yeah. Again, I can't wait for my flavors to get here now.
Exactly.
Stepping it up in the kitchen with all these like mixers. Yeah. So that's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, they're natural ingredients. Like they're a base. Like it's interesting. I love where we are now with it because I've been making lemonade consistently since my daughter, who's now 24, was about 2 years old. She had a lot of food allergies, dairy, soy, proteins. There's so many allergies. We had to start making a lot of food at home from scratch, knowing our ingredients, farm fresh ingredients. So we started making lemonades for fun. And then we got tired of the simple lemonade and just started going beyond that. Strawberries, pineapples, mangoes, whatever it was, having fun with it. And that's why I started doing it when I started my catering business. It was like we'd have all different flavors. Oh, you ordered jerk chicken? We're going to do a mango lemonade for you. Yeah. Like that was our thing. And then I remember at one point we would have almost 13 different flavors available at one time when we had our food truck. And it was too much. It was like, okay, it's just people can't decide because there's so many flavors. So there's a lot of flavors out there, which we love because we can't wait to reintroduce them all at our shop. Like, y'all, we got some flavors for y'all.
Then look, you just said it because that was going to lead into my next question. So we already know coming up next from you is The Stand.
The Stand, yes.
So tell us all about that.
So The Stand is our brick and mortar. Like we got a whole space, like a whole building for y'all to come on in and enjoy the beverages. And
oh wait, I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt because the food advocate said, "Where are you?" And she's in Baltimore. She's near you, the food advocate. Just gotta let you know.
Yeah, we in Baltimore. So we'll put the IG for The Stands in there. We're on St. Paul. So those who know Baltimore, we're downtown. We're on St. Paul, right near Mercy Hospital, between Saratoga and Lexington, right near Preston Gardens. So amazing, nice little area. Great history in that neighborhood as well. That used to be a predominantly Black neighborhood, which was transitioned out when they decided to build Preston Gardens. There's a lot of history there that I can't wait to share. But there was a time in American history where cities competed for like beautiful parks that had like these grand structures in them. And Preston Gardens was a part of that. The mayor at the time cleared out that neighborhood, which was mostly us, our people living in there, and made this beautiful park, but cleared us out to do so. Yes. So that's one thing. We want folks to come back down and enjoy that park. I don't see a lot of people out there when we're there. It's beautiful. They have a beautiful grand staircase there. Lots of grass. The blossoms look beautiful there. And we're like a 30-second walk from it.
Mm.
It's just beautiful down there. But for us, for the stand, it's basically where a culinary experience merges with culture. Like, I want folks to come down and enjoy the foods that we have that really represent me, my culture, my passions, my desire, my heart, my experiences. So yes, we're going to have Liberian influences and flavors in there. Lots of plantain, lots of tropical flavors and foods in there. But then go back to the old school. I love one of the sandwiches that I'm so proud of is we're doing this smoked salmon sandwich with like a horseradish, garlic, cream cheese, and fresh cucumbers for that crunch. We're making it out of like croissant layers. Like, we're doing like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And like, our bacon, egg, and cheese is not going to be your typical bacon, egg, and cheese. We're using high quality organic eggs, brie cheese for that delicious taste. Just flavors. We want your mouth. You know how you eat the certain food and you do the dance, right?
Yeah.
We want every part of your body to dance when you get those flavors in your mouth. We'll have coffee, of course. We're using an amazing local maker who's doing our coffee for us. We're going to come up with amazing drinks for the coffees. Our teas are going to be from local makers, women-owned, Black-owned makers. Of course, our lemonades. And you're going to see our lemonades at their full potential. Like, you'll see our mixers at their full potential. Ice drinks, hot drinks. Yes, for your salads. Yes, they're probably going to be included in your desserts. Really, to give people an opportunity to see, like I said, it's the foodie homie in a bottle. You can use it anywhere and everywhere. And of course, they'll be available to purchase as well. And then one thing I'm really excited about, I say one thing, but it's really lots of things encompassed in one, are experiences. I'm looking forward to basically taking my brands, Lemonade and Cōl Bōl, and hosting them in one place. So yes, there'll be some private dining experiences, 3, 4, 5-course dinners, an Afro bunch, maybe a seafood salad, seafood Saturday with a seafood boil and African flavors as a nice twist. Just, we want to share space, and we want to do it creatively and culinarily and community-based. Just have fun with it.
Yeah. And so, wow, that's really good. And so when can we expect this? Can we give a little sneak peek?
So we are hoping for, hopefully by the end of the month, early June. We're shooting for no later than mid-June.
Okay.
Before summer hits, like before the official like calendar date of summer, because we did say spring 2022. So that's the goal. Like, for those who aren't following, follow Lemonade, follow the Stand by Lemonade, join the mail list. We're going to have some tastings. We're going to have a slow opening, most likely an extended slow opening, just to get our feet in. It's not a race for me. We want to come correct. We want to come properly for everyone. We don't want to give too much and then have to pull away. So it's going to be a slow and steady start and just increase it from there. And it's a space where other makers are more than welcome to come. Reach out. Let me know what you have in mind. Do you want to pop up and sell your products? You want to pop up and take over? Let me know. Like, that's Baltimore. That's how I've been doing business in Baltimore for the past 5 years, is people have invited me into their home, into their space. It's my turn to invite others into our space.
I love that. You better give back and build community all in the same.
Yes. It's community for the culture, by the culture.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I see my friend Cornelia join from Black Girls Explore DC. I'm taking her. We coming up. Like, when you
come on, girl, come on.
we coming up. So
come on. And feedback is always welcome. Like, that's one thing I've always been real about. Anytime I cook, anytime I prepare, anytime I do something, tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what you thought you were expecting versus what I gave you. Reach out. Talk to me. We learning. And we want to make this a space for us, like our community. So tell me, give it back. Yeah. Don't be going and writing something crazy and didn't talk to me.
Right. There's only room for improvement, for sure.
Yes, exactly.
So, is there anything else that you would like for people to know about the stand?
Honestly, I think what I really want people... Oh, do you know what's actually awesome about what we're doing? We actually just decided and made this official. We're actually working on getting all the marketing together for that. The stand is going to be available for you to use. Like, it's a space that you can go ahead and really come and take over. So you'll be able to come and rent it out and host your dinner. We already have a few events planned that people have booked out. We're going to close the doors to the public. It's private. You know, you can do it in 2 and 3 hour increments. Come and host your happy hour. You know, you're getting together with your workmates, your organization. Come and host your happy hour with us. We won't have a liquor license as soon as we open, so that means BYOB, which can be a lot of fun.
Yes. Look, yeah, they bring the bottles, you bring the syrup. Like,
okay, exactly. Yes. And, you know, we'll have recommended spirits, especially Black and women-owned spirits. Like, okay, check these folks out. Come on, support them, bring them on. And it's a community space. I'm like, I don't really know what else to tell people. It's hard to like articulate and put into words what you got going on up here.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a space for us.
Nice. And
like, it really is a space for us.
And even go on Carleen's social media, and she gives you like a little glimpse of what it looks like on the inside.
Oh yeah, we be teasing. Thank you.
Like all white. At least that was early on. I don't know if it's
and that's really honestly the reason. Oh, I'm glad you said that. So the reason, okay, so the space, as far as the decor in the space and how I explain it is, it's Afro-modern, meaning I want a lot of natural textures in there that you would usually find in Africa, in African culture. A lot of rattan, a lot of palm leaves, what do we call it's just natural, like creams, browns. I haven't put our plants in there yet, and I haven't put our African mask in there yet, but I think some people use the term boho, and I'm like, nah, not boho, it's Afro. Like,
come correct. Afro.
Yes, but very neutral. And the main reason behind that, besides just I'm obsessed with that look right now, I want to feature other artists. I want other artists' work to come and hang your art on the wall. Let's have a whole opening gallery night and show off your artwork and have fun. So we keep it as neutral as possible. Our food is going to shine. Our people are going to shine, and others' artworks are going to shine in this space. Like,
hey, well, again, we are anticipating this opening. I know I am. Like, I better be on the invite list for the soft opening.
You already are. You already there.
I will be there.
First, middle, and last name already on the list.
Thank you. The whole government.
The whole government.
I will be there with my pinky up. I promise.
Okay. Oh, like that. Oh my gosh, you say pinky up. So, being West African, you know, Jollof Wars. Everyone knows about the Jollof Wars. I love a good Jollof War. I love it. But we plan on hosting an event called the Jollof Musing. So, you know, it's not going to be a war. We already know Liberia is going to walk away with the title. But
you're starting already.
But we want people to come and really enjoy and learn the history behind Jollof and why there is a Jollof War and why there is pride in there. So we want to do some pairings with some amazing spirits, amazing cocktails, different. I've invited a Ghanaian chef. We have a Nigerian chef that's coming through. Just come and enjoy the diaspora. Like, just come and enjoy us. Like, seriously, and learn more about it and see how you're really connected to it.
Yeah. That's another one I want to see, because I know about that Jollof War, and so yeah. Let's see who takes the cake on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so for the next little segment, what I want to do with you is play a game called Turning Lemons into Lemonade. And so let me tell you. So basically what this game is going to consist of, I'm going to give you some scenarios.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me how you would take these opportunities or lemons and turn them into lemonade.
Bring it, bring it, bring it. I love this. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Let me get the game and the little intro music going. Okay. So, if you could start any business not related to food and beverages, what type of business would you start?
Interior design.
Oh, okay. Oh, tell us more. I mean, you kind of gave us that when you were talking about how you want to design the stand. So,
yeah, just interior decor. I believe in turning a house into a home. I just believe in making a space welcome for all, making it comfortable. When you walk into your home, it should just feel welcoming. It should feel like home. So I started doing that when I was pregnant with my daughter 24 years ago. You know, we had the whole HGTV and all that stuff going on back in the day. I was hooked on those shows. One of my very first apartments was in, let's just say, the first floor. All the corner girls worked the first floor of the building I lived in.
oh, okay.
But my apartment, my landlord was a slumlord. But there was a Home Depot that just had opened up down the block. This is in Park Hill, Staten Island. And I was like, this apartment is nasty. He ain't gonna do nothing with it. I took out the carpet, put in floors, painted the walls, redid this, redid that. My friends always used to they called my apartment the Twilight Zone, because you would walk into this nasty looking building, but walk into my apartment, it was like, oh, like the reaction was always walking in and walking back out and looking down the hall like, wait, are we in the same place?
Yeah.
And to see that reaction and that comfort, like nobody wanted to come to my building, but they wanted to come to my apartment. So just making space welcome. Like that's definitely another passion of mine, for real, for real.
Okay. And so,
and that's definitely taking lemons and making lemonade, y'all.
Okay. No, hello, for sure. Let's see. You get to be the president for one day. What illegal thing would you like to make legal? Be careful. Answer, Carleen.
I mean, officially, it's all still on the books right now. So marijuana laws need to change. Abortion laws need to change. Police brutality and how they get away with that needs to change. Like, come on now. If you thinking it, I'm changing all of that day. All of it. And making sure it can't be changed back.
Carleen for president? Carleen for president?
Yes! Carleen for president for one day.
Okay, the next question, or scenario rather. You're outside of a bank when a robber runs outside. The robber passes you $10,000 to keep quiet. Would you keep it?
No.
Really?
No.
I would, but okay. Please.
I would pass it off. I would pass it off.
All 10K?
All 10K.
Whew.
All 10K, I'd pass it off. Yeah, trust me, my partner, he's going to see this and be like, yes, you would. He would keep it.
You are a virtuous woman.
Somebody else is going to need it. That was too easy for me to get. Somebody else is going to need it more than I would.
Well, look, who among us couldn't use $10,000? You're going to need it too. But no, that's good. Don't let I don't judge. Do you? I know what I would do. That's it. Good. Okay, let's see. You can only eat one food for the rest of your life. What food would that be?
You cussing right now. Watch your mouth.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so when you say one food, like one meal or like one item, like one thing?
For you, we're gonna make it a meal. We'll give you that.
Palm butter.
Wait,
palm butter is palm butter. So palm butter is a West African Liberian style for me, but it's made of palm nuts, and we make it into this stew. So people know palm oil, the red oil, that's controversial. You know, got a whole lot of lessons to teach on that. But there's a cream base that comes from that palm nut if you process it properly, and it makes a phenomenal, addictive stew. And I've used it as a stew over rice. I've had it with fufu, just with a steak, with chicken, with fish, a dip. Yeah, palm butter.
Oh wow.
Set.
I need to try that out because that's good of it. when I come to Baltimore, you gotta give me the good spot. Well, look, you make it for me.
I make it for you. I got you. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Next, if given the opportunity to be another person for a day, who would you choose to be?
My mother Joan, my stepmama who raised me. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
No, yeah, like she was my magic.
Yeah.
She was my magic. Yeah. And Mother's Day just passed. She's at her birthday's coming up. So yeah, my mama.
Oh, I like that response. Okay. All of a sudden, you become invisible. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
Can my popcorn be invisible too? Because I'm gonna go sit down and just listen to conversations. I'm gonna people stalk.
Yeah, just people watch. Look, are these gonna be people that you know or just random?
Both, a mix. I want to go to the White House. I want to go to Area 51. I want to go everywhere. I want to go in certain neighborhoods, certain businesses, just everywhere. Ooh, how much time do I have as I'm invisible? Because I just want to be that fly on the wall, but that chick sitting there with my tea and my popcorn.
I can get because Area 51, the White House. I can only imagine the conversation.
Okay.
Especially in the Oval Office. Okay, and then let's see, last one. You are offered the opportunity to know exactly what you'll be doing 20 years from now, but you cannot change the future at all if you do. Would you want to know?
No.
No?
Yeah, I guess I'm fine. And I say that because I'm one of those folks who believes my dreams tell me a lot more than I think they're telling me. So, yeah, I'm like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. No regrets.
Oh, wait, I see some notes, some nulls. No.
Oh, no, tell me that.
Right, enjoy the ride. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it is what it is. I honestly could go either way.
Okay, well there we go. And so we see again, as the resilient woman that you are, you always manage to turn some lemonades.
You have
lemonade. And so, okay, now I'm going to move to some of the questions that we have here. So feel free to submit questions, you all, and I'll try to start. The first one is, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Lead with your heart, but know your heart first. That's like, a lot of people say lead with your heart, but our heart can take us in different places. So understand your heart, know your yeses and nos. Understand and overstand your yeses and nos. Understand who you are and what your why is. It seems like a superficial advice, but that's what kept me going for 10 years. And I've been a single mama doing it for most of that time. Know your heart, go with your heart, understand and overstand your yeses and nos.
Yes.
And it ain't about the hustle. The hustle ain't real. If you ain't resting properly and energizing yourself, you ain't good to nobody.
Right. Yes. Can we talk about that?
Yes, please and thank you.
You have to be a complete and whole person.
Yeah.
In order to perform at your best.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because people seem to think you have to create a different personality to do what you do. No, we nosy as hell. We nosy people because we don't know what people are like. Be you authentically and fully, and be okay with that you grow, that you change, that you need to step back, that you need to stop, that you need to pause. Stop living for others because they living for themselves. Live for you. Know what your yeses and nos are. And that even comes to your children. That comes to your partner. If you're not taking care of yourself 100% completely and fully first, you are no good to anyone else. And I say that as a woman who had to learn the hard way how true that is and how important, almost violently important, that can be. Like,
yeah. And see, somebody said it was nice meeting you, and I'm so glad to hear more about your story.
thank you.
And yes, and sounds like the unpopular opinion. Everybody's always pushing about the hustle. I love what you just said.
Yeah, I ain't with it.
Let's see. The next question we have is, okay, so a lot of people say just start, but how does one start with low or no resources from a logistics perspective?
Ask family and friends. Like, and that's not asking them for something, but do what it is you want to do and present it to them. And share. So people, I know that some people are like, oh, don't share your ideas, don't talk about what you're doing. It's something called research and development, R&D. You'll hear that term in the entrepreneur world a lot. You have to just start. If you want to bake cakes for a living, bake a damn cake and get it out to people so they can taste it. You want to make a shirt and make hats, go ahead and do it. If you don't have the resources for it, you have the resources for something. So what can be put on pause for a hot minute just so that you can start that, just to try it out. It really, when people say just start, they mean it. Like, that's what we had to do. There's other things that I've wanted to do and I've wanted to do, and people have been confused by my brand. What does she do? What doesn't she do? Because I just started.
Yeah. And I say, no, there is a beauty into that, because 9 times out of 10, when you just start, the more time you put into it, it's just going to naturally progress.
Exactly.
Good.
Yep.
Good. So, I mean, sometimes just starting and kind of like you don't even want to get in your own head and then start coming up with things to get in your way. Roadblocks. Sometimes it really is about just going and taking what you have and just starting.
And there's always a resource out there. And I say it because I've experienced it. Somehow, some way, the universe is going to give you what you need. Not necessarily what you want, but the universe is going to give you what you need. So if you're thinking that, if you're planning that out, if you're processing that, if you're sharing that with your safe circles, it's going to come your way. Don't keep it all in your head. Don't keep your ask. And I say this as someone who don't know how to ask consistently. Don't keep your ask in your head. Don't keep your desires, your dreams in your head. Share that, because you never know who wants to share that with you or who wants to support you in that. Not everybody's going to. And that's all right. That's okay. All right, keep pushing. No? Cool. Keep going until you get to that person. You're going to hear 1,000 no's before you hear a yes, and that's okay.
Right. So somebody asked, who has been one of your biggest influences in life?
The community of amazing Black women out here in Baltimore, y'all. Like, no joke. My community, whether it's direct or indirect, we live in a beautiful age of social media. We can witness so many people doing so many different things. Whether we have a full picture or not, we have more inspiration at our fingertips than ever in history. And my inspiration comes from all of those places. It comes from people I know, people I don't know, people I look up to, people I admire, and people I'm like, nah, dog, never. Like, it comes from everywhere. But for me, for sure, the Baltimore DMV creatives, they magic, and can't nobody tell me different. This is a girl who was born and raised in Staten Island, New York. I lived in Fort Worth, Texas. I've lived in Philly. Like, I've lived in California. DMV, and for me specifically, Baltimore, Maryland. There is magic happening here each and every single day. And don't feel alone, because you're not. I am a part of so many different networks and groups who we are like, yo, how can we support each other? What do you need help with? I remember a few weeks ago, I broke down crying because the icebreaker question was, introduce yourself, what's your brand, and what do you need? I broke down crying because I was like, yo, I need to learn how to ask for what I need.
Now see, that's a whole nother show right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, and when I did it, like they said it that night, and I was still scared. And I was still scared to the point where I still didn't do it by texting anybody individually. I put a post out there. I shared it in my, not even a post, I shared it in my stories because it'll be going in 24 hours.
Yeah.
But the outreach, to the point, I'm about to start crying. The outreach was real from people I didn't expect, people I knew, people I thought were too busy to come out and help, and they did. To the point where I ran into somebody while I was out eating, and they were like, yo, I said I want to help you. What do you need? Like,
and like you said earlier, so like the world will put things like into perspective for you and give you what you need at the right time. And sometimes really all you have to do is put yourself out there and ask.
Exactly.
And also, even I have an issue with that because it's just like, especially like when you're like a very independent person, it's just hard to, like, that's not even the first thing that comes to your head.
Exactly. It's not. I'm like, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to get this done?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Not who can help me get this done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I speak it, and I speak it also as a reminder to myself. We're not in this. Like, you may be in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. There is a community out there who understands we in this together. Women, men. Well, I mean, just we here. We're here.
See, like somebody DMs and been dropping them the whole session. You better come on with this word, this good word. And then I see somebody else say you were missed at the Afro Soca DC Festival.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, let me tell you, Afro Soca Love is one of the best. I did it for the first time last year for Juneteenth, and I'm hoping we can be back this year. Like, again, we're just starting to build our team up. It's been myself and my kids. Just this past year, we've transitioned to where my partner is helping me out, and he's there in the I don't know what we call it. What's that word when you're like, he's in it with me now. But we're trying to build up a team so we can be in multiple places at once. But Afro Soca Love, yo, that event, to see that many Black makers out there being supported by Black people. We sold out at like 1 o'clock. The event went to like 4 or 6 o'clock. We were like, what in the world? So we try not to miss anymore. We really are. We're trying to actually make some across the country because they spreading that love across the country. So I'm sorry that we missed you. We do have a website where you can order from. We're going to have a shop opening soon where you can come to. And we definitely trying to represent at Afro Soca for sure.
Okay, and then the very last question. Somebody said, have you started selling at Target yet?
Not yet. So, hey, somebody who knows what we just went through. We just completed Target Accelerator. We're part of cohort 2 of Target Forward Founders. And I'm going to say this, and I'm always going to say it when it comes up. Can't nobody say anything bad about Target ever again in my life. If you are a maker, if you are a creative, sign up for their emails. If you have a product, Target is investing in us. They are investing in us financially. They are investing in us for different times of the year. They are investing in us by putting us in the rooms with people who understand it. The stuff I've learned through that cohort, I'm like, our business tactics, our business planning has changed because of what we now know that I don't think we ever would have learned without them sitting down and saying, okay, we're going to give you the goods. Here's the golden book. Here you go.
And can you, Carleen, real quick, because you cut out on me and I just want to make sure it's in the recorded version. Can you say the name of that Target program one more time?
It's Target Forward Founders.
Okay.
If you have, I'm telling you, if you're a maker and you have product, sign up, reach out. They are investing in us. Like, I can't even speak on so many points of where I knew it wasn't for show. Like, you know, a lot of organizations do things and it's like it's just for show. They are truly about supporting makers. And yes, Black makers, female makers. It's emotional. Like it was emotional, and emotional for all the right reasons. It really was. So when will we be in Target? We don't know yet. Y'all know when we know. If we end up there. That's the beauty of the cohort, is learning whether or not you're learning about getting yourself into mass retail, but also understanding if you're ready and if that's what you really want.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot that goes into mass producing your product. Do we want to change from being small batch made by hand to having someone else make our product? Do we want to change and giving someone our recipe and making it in 5,000 batches instead of 5-gallon batches? So there's a lot that comes along with that. But there's no regrets. Like we have access to that, the stuff that they teach us forever now. And we are definitely, that's a part of our learning and planning our business now. I still don't know if we're going to end up there or not officially. We'll see.
No, I mean, well, regardless of whether you do or not, I'm wishing you success and abundance. Like, I know that you've already experienced success. So I know, again, with time and your dedication and passion, I know it's only going to evolve and grow from there. So
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So, look, because again, just like we were doing in the DMs, we were like yapping and chatting. So, look, I'm going to go ahead and close things out. But again, this conversation has been great. Again, like very, very inspirational.
Thank you.
And thank you for the tips and advice you've kind of like bestowed and shared, because I feel like this can really help the next aspiring entrepreneur.
Yes.
DMV or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, any other questions, go ahead, reach out. I would even say email me. I'm learning that those request boxes, they hard when like, wait, I didn't see this. So shoot me an email instead of just a DM if you have any questions for real. Like, yeah.
Wonderful. And so then, well, in that same vein, I guess make sure you tell everybody where they can follow you personally as well as your brand.
Yeah, so Lemonade, LE_Monade. I'm sure we'll tag it here. My name is Carleen Goodridge, and my personal page is under there, and it's personal, but it's worldly. So come on through and see what I be talking about. Sometimes I won't post for a while and then come up with some realness, and sometimes I'll post forever. So, and then my other brands, Cōl Bōl, look out for amazing, and I say it from the bottom of my heart, because that's how I'm making my food, from my heart. Liberian cuisine, West African cuisine, and The Stand by Lemonade, our little lemonade stand coming soon.
Yeah.
Or as Liberians say, soon come.
Yeah. We got the question they want to know. Well, one, you can find all of Carleen's business pages in the bio of her personal page. So just go there.
Yes, exactly. There we go. And
then two, somebody wants to know, what's your email address?
It will be also in my bio. Yeah, okay. There's an actual link that says contact. So, boom.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then, of course, everybody give me a follow, too.
Yes, exactly. Y'all better be, okay, if you tuned in the first time, I never want to miss another one, because you are doing phenomenal work. And it's so much fun. That's why I said yes. I was like, oh, y'all have fun when you talk. Yes, I'm talking to you. We can talk all day.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then lastly, as I always say, if you happen to know a small business owner in the food and beverage industry who want to be featured on Food for Thought, just let me know. Slide in my DMs and we'll get that coordinated. And then, wow, Carol, I don't even want to end the conversation. But,
I don't.
So, yeah. Carleen, well, look, again, I'll definitely come to the opening.
Yes.
We'll keep chatting it up in the DM. So
yes, we will.
Yeah, so I can't wait to actually meet you in person.
Same here. You keep up the amazing works. You should have your products and your goodies real soon as well.
Thank you so much.
So then you can let me know what you really think and what you did with it.
I will. Yeah, I'll look. Well, I'm going to get into cooking videos. I'm going to be making some of everything. So,
yes, exactly.
Look, my fried chicken and everything. So we'll see.
All right. Ooh, fried chicken.
See, because when you said, what was it? The one with the citrus thyme?
Yes.
I could see that certainly with some salmon, and then I could see that with fried chicken.
Ooh, and so I've done it with salmon. It's on my page, and I've done it with fried shrimp.
Yeah.
Yes, and fried.
See, we're gonna have to do some cooking segments too.
We do. Okay. See, yes, yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah. Okay, but look, here we go. We're getting into a whole nother.
I know. Go.
So look, again, thank you for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And guys, catch the next episode. It'll probably be sometime in June. I'm taking, I'm sorry, actually it might be July actually, because I'm taking the rest of a few weeks off because it's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. And then I might want to rework the format of the show. Oh no, we'll see. We'll do some analysis and see.
So are you a Taurus, a Gemini, or a Cancer?
Oh, so I am cusp. I'm Gemini. So May the 21st.
Oh, my Gemini brother! June 1st.
Wait, when are you?
June 1st.
June 1st. Okay.
Yes.
No wonder we vibe.
Okay. It's there.
Got it. So again, Carleen, thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Next time, everybody. Ciao.
Ciao, folks.